What's going on? I would like to briefly have a conversation about the greatest hip hop album of all time. I know that probably touch a nerve with a lot of people. You know, it is what it is. This is my opinion, and I'm not willing to deviate from it. That's how serious I feel about Dr. Dre's The Chronic. As far as I'm concerned, that's not another album that had that kind of impact on the culture of hip hop. And I'm a hip hop head, you know, to my core. I've been down with hip hop ever since 1979 when I was a child in the kitchen in pajamas, up past my bedtime, you know, with my sister and my older cousins, and they played it and it blew my mind. More juice. You can't tell me nothing about this album here. Rocket Patel, Connecticut. Jack Honey, for anybody that's interested. Dip it in here, give a little sweetness to the tip. I know what a lot of y'all probably say, oh, Marvin, you missing out on so many albums. How could you say that The Chronic is the greatest album of all time? All I can tell you is how it affected my life. My hip hop life revolves around The Chronic. It is the center of my hip hop universe. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Nas' Illmatic or Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the 36 Chambers, or Outkast's Aquemini. All of them can be in the running for greatest of all time. Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, Biggest Ready to Die, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, Low End Theory, by Tribe, Takes the Nation to Million, To Hold Us Back by Public Enemy. All of those can be into the running. But for me, nothing compares to The Chronic. It's the perfect blend. It's the perfect blend of everything. Before The Chronic, all the West Coast gangster music was abrasive. Dre brought in that smoothness, made it palatable to people who may have been turned off by Straight Outta Compton. You gotta understand, it's 1992, so there's no internet. Unless you was following the Source magazine, you really didn't even know when stuff was dropping. Every Tuesday, Tower Records, you would just kind of go down there and look. Out of all the hip hop albums, the thousands of hip hop albums that I've owned over the years, to this day, The Chronic is the only one where I can tell you where I was at, who I was with, the circumstances involved, and the first song off the album that I heard. It was amazing. It blew my mind. You gotta understand, The Chronic dropped with no fanfare, got absolutely no radio play at first. It just came out of nowhere, and it's just word of mouth, That frenzy, I wish that young hip hop fans could know that. They'll never know that because they have the internet and it's just different now. But if you are between the ages of 45 and 55, and you are black and you're a hip hop fan, we raised hip hop. We were the foundation that nurtured it to be the global force that it is today. You gotta understand, young black youth welcomed this new thing called hip hop with open arms because white youth already had something, especially white young men had an outlet for their aggression, which was rock and roll. We didn't. We had disco and R&B and then our parents' crap. So when hip hop came, it fed something. It fed that testosterone in young men. So we welcomed it with open arms. Man, it holds a special place in our heart. Cause you gotta understand, young people, what it was like. Imagine, you guys have never known a world without hip hop. Let's say people my age, all you know is your parents' music and what's being played, R&B or disco or blues or whatever your parents listen to, on the radio, and then out of nowhere, here comes this new thing, and you're a kid, and they're rhyming, so it's easy for you to follow. They're kind of bragging, it's kind of funny. It blows your mind, and it's secretive. It's something your parents don't know about it. They don't understand it. It's kept away from them. You know, and it's so little of it to where you all are listening to the same thing. Imagine when whatever the top album is, everybody who's a hip hop fan everywhere is listening to that one album. So no matter where you go, no matter what car you pass, if that's the hot album, that's what's being pumped. No matter what party, no matter what club, they're playing that album. You guys will never know that world. You guys will never know a Fresh Fest where there's 13 of your favorite acts on one freaking show and stuff like that. They'll never get the insurance straight for that. But so it was different. But with the Chronic, I was in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. I was at work. I was a welder. So I'm at work doing my thing. And my boy, Corey Smith out of Oak Cliff, Dallas area, shout out to Oak Cliff, was like the resident car aficionado on the base and maybe the island, because he had the baddest car, you know, the nicest system, out of, especially the people on the base. See, that was back then when they just started putting them gold flakes in the paint job and stuff like that. So Corey was on top of it. Corey was a machinist mate. He worked at an adjacent building. Corey just walked over to my job. Corey never came over there by himself. He walked over to my job. I was working. He said, "Man, what you doing?" I was like, "I'm working, dog." He's like, "Did you know that Dr. Dre was coming out with an album?" I was like, "Nah, I mean Dr. Dre from NWA." He's like, "Yeah." I like, "Nah, I didn't know." He's like, "Bro, I got it." He's like, "You gotta hear it." And I'm thinking to myself, "Okay, it's tight. I hear it later on." It's that. He was like, "Nah." He's like, "Man, you gotta hear it now." I'm like, "I'm working." He was like, "No, you don't understand. You don't understand. You gotta hear it right now." What? So now I'm intrigued. Like, this man walked off his job to come over to my job, play hooky, to go listen to this shit. So I was like, go to the front of the building, and I'll be there in a minute. Met him at the front of the building, and we walked. We got in his car. He popped it in, and he put it on there was a cassette. This is back in the day. He put it on the B-side. First song was Nigga with a Gun. You got to understand. Up until then, you didn't hear a lot of funny skits and music. It was just something different, something new, something fresh. And my man had the 15s in the back. He had a Prelude. He had removed the back seats. He had 15s in there. And he was parked far enough from the building where he kind of crank it up, but not that much, but it was enough to jolt you in your seat. And he played Nigga with a Gun. And that bass line hit. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my fucking God. It was the most beautiful shit I ever heard. And I re-listened to maybe a couple more songs, and I had to get back. We had to get back to work, of course, but I remember the rest of the day I was just thinking, like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this album. I wouldn't rest until I got it. And I got the album, and you gotta understand, you know, for the next year. It came out, dropped like December of '92 for the next year. That's all you heard. And then Snoop dropped his thing, Doggy Style, that following fall. And off the strength of the Chronic, it was such a frenzy. On the Tuesday that Snoop albums dropped, there was Tower Records that was on Cam Highway in Pearl City, Hawaii. The line was wrapped around the building. The frenzy had built so much to where it was bananas. Bro, I can't even describe it. It was crazy. Back then in the Navy, we wore dungarees with the flared bottoms, kind of like bell bottoms. Let me tell you how real it was for us. We took off work. And I didn't take off. We just walked, like all told. We had to tell them where to go because we had to be there in the morning when Tower opened, so make sure it don't sell out. We had to get one. We had shirts, and we took our military tops off, put regular shirts on that was like a polo style, so they kind of were long, and so they kind of hid our name on the back of the dungarees. We took our dungarees and stuck stuff from inside of our boots to make it look like just regular jeans. So we out there standing in line with regular shirts on, with military pants on, with our dungaree stuff in our boots, because we had to get that fucking album. That's how serious it was. And that was all off the strength of the Chronic. So you could argue with me if you want to. I ain't gonna listen to you. I'm not even, you gotta understand, I've been feeling this way since 1992. It ain't gonna change, ever. I don't care what the album is, but for me, the Chronic is the greatest hip-hop album of all times. And I'm not saying it's the best lyrics. I'm not saying it's the best beat. I'm telling you, the perfect blend. It was the perfect hip-hop storm, man. Shout out to Dr. Dre, man. That album changed a lot of hip-hop lives and changed the landscape of hip-hop.